Welcome back to the channel. Today, hopefully you can see over my right hand shoulder just there, we have got the new Polo GTI. This is known as an AW or a Mark 6, and today we're going to be doing a Stage 1 ECU and TCU tune using VUDU Performance. So this brand new Polo GTI platform, which was launched in late 2018, is completely different. It's a whole new chassis, different gearbox and a different engine. Now, the beauty of this is that the engine is actually shared from an EA 888 Golf R, Golf GTI engine, and the gearbox is a DQ 250, and this car only comes in an automatic option, so only with a DSG box. Now, the previous gen model, the 1.86C TSI model, which we've been very popular with, unfortunately the DSG boxes on those were a DQ 200, so a dry clutch, and they had some real bad issues with destroying gearboxes, slipping clutches, so on and so forth. A TCU tune from us did tend to help with that, albeit we could never guarantee that it wasn't going to destroy itself. It was not a good gearbox option. Whereas now, this DQ 250, which is shared with Golf GTI and the earlier Mark 7 Golf R, is absolutely bomb-proof. It's a really good platform. The engine is obviously really strong, that's already proven. So our Stage 1 on this car, the stock figures are around 200 horsepower from factory. And with our Stage 1 ECU, we're going to expect to see 260, somewhere around there, 250. That's a pretty sort of linear expectation. And with the TCU file, we're going to do the necessary up the load on the clamping pressures. We're going to change the shift points to make it just change a little bit nicer. We're going to make it change faster, and we're going to stop it from kicking down in manual mode. So without further ado, let's get this car over to the workshop, where we're going to meet up with Lee, our workshop manager, and he's going to carry out the job today and allow you guys to see exactly what it is that we do from start to finish. Right, so we're in the dyno cell now with Lee, our workshop manager, who has very kindly taken some time out of his day to run this car up for us and go through this process, because we wanted to really get a feel for what goes on from start to finish when we're building a car like this. So I'm going to leave it up to Lee to explain to you guys and dip out, go back to doing my work, and leave it in your capable hands, yeah?
No worries.
Yeah? Okay, yeah. Good.
So, first thing we do, get the vehicle into the dyno. Once we've got it into the dyno, the first thing we need to do is check all the fluid levels. Once we're happy with the fluid levels, we then get it loaded onto the dyno. Once it's loaded onto the dyno, we will then take a base read off the ECU and the TCU, take that over to our calibrations team. They will start reviewing it, and if we need a file building up while we're doing our 3 stock runs, they will build up a file for us. Once we've done that, we will then do 3 base runs on the stock map, and we'll also do some data logging. Now, the data logging is for things like boost pressure and ignition timing. We can just double check, make sure that everything is running accordingly as it should be. Once we've done the 3 runs and we're happy with that, we'll then go back to our calibrations team, get the new map, flash it onto the car. Once we're happy that it's all working as it should do, we'll then do another 3 runs on the new map with some more data logging. Once we've got all that information, we'll then take it away, review it, and we'll check all the fuel pressure, ignition timing, air intake temperature, all that kind of thing, and we'll adjust it accordingly. If it's running a bit off, we might detune it slightly. If it's not running at its full potential and we feel we can get more out of it, we'll adjust things and see if we can get that little bit extra out of it. Once we're happy with all that, wheels back on, take it for a test drive.
We've now run the car up stock. We expected to see around 200 horsepower, which is what they quote from factory. and behind me the graph says 179 wheel, so at 12% correction, which is what I would use on a DQ 250 or running front wheel only, that is bang on 201 horsepower, so it's exactly where we expected it to be. The torque figure is 235 to 240 foot-pound, which again is straight out of the factory as it should be. So everything looks healthy. Leah's logged the car. We're happy to go ahead and now install the software, which we've got built ready to go. So we'll do that now, follow Lee doing that, and then we'll get it run up again and see what she makes. As you've just seen, we've now run this car up at stage 1 and we've data logged as well. Behind me is the graph of the layup, so stock versus our VUDU Performance Stage 1 tune. We're really impressed with the figures, and it's very much linear with what we would expect from a Polo 6C GTI, given that it uses the same turbocharger. So we've actually achieved 220 wheel horsepower, which is up 41 wheel over the stock figures, so it's doing, I'm going to say, circa 250 at the engine. So it's a really good, strong result. The most impressive part is that we've picked up 75 foot-pounds of torque, so that is where the customer is really going to feel it. Now, the graph behind me, unfortunately, once tuned, we had to run the car from 1500 RPM, so it was actually making 260 foot-pounds by the time the run had even started. That's because the gearbox was looking to slip because of the way the dyno's loaded it up. That's always, albeit we don't want to run it like that, but if it starts to want to slip there, you can tell that that's ultimately going to make a big chunk of torque. So to do 220 wheel and 310 foot-pounds of torque, I can absolutely assure you that the car is going to be fantastic. So let's get this car on the floor and go out for a run in it, because I'm really excited to drive it and compare, obviously model for model. This will be the first one that I've driven on the road, so I'm really looking forward to it. So let's get out there and have a go. So we're now back in the office. The customer has been and collected his vehicle. He had somewhere to be tonight. He has dropped me a quick message just to say how much he loves it, which we're very pleased with it as well. Having driven both models now, a 6C and this new Mark 6AW, it's a big jump up. It's probably, with it being the DSG gearbox, it's probably a little bit more refined, a little bit more, it feels more like a Golf really. But I personally really like it, and obviously with the power increases that we've managed to achieve, I've no doubt that the customer's going to love it. I'm almost certain he's going to be back for stage 2 at some point, which we've got built, so it'd be really interesting to compare stage 1 to stage 2. So yeah, thank you for watching. The product is going to be live in a link below the video, and if you're wanting any more information, the best thing to do is drop us an email, and you can find that on the contact page on the website. The ECU and TCU, if you flash the TCU at the same time, which we recommend, we're actually doing a package price where it's $499 for the ECU and $399 for the TCU when flashed together. That includes VAT and it includes dyno time as well, so you get the before and after dyno runs and the data logs. So thanks again for watching, and we will catch you on the next video.